Hello everyone, I am Dr. Chirag Patel. Today we are going to be discuss about basic of chemotherapy, which includes different evolutionary phases of chemotherapy, definition of chemotherapy, different targets of antimicrobial agents and classification of antimicrobial agents. So let's first start with the evolutionary era of chemotherapy. The word chemotherapy was given by Paul Ehrlich, who is known as father of modern chemotherapy. The evolutionary period of chemotherapy can be divided into the four periods. The first, pre-Ehrlich era, second, Paul Ehrlich era, modern era of chemotherapy, and the last, golden era of chemotherapy. So the first one is pre-Ehrlich era. So the period before 1830, the compound like cinchona bark was used in malaria and mercury used for treatment of syphilis. That era is known as pre-Ehrlich era. The second one is the Paul Ehrlich era. So the era when, or the period when Paul Ehrlich synthesized 6 compound in which salvarsan was effective, but other arsenical were no value in treatment of disease because of toxicity and less efficacy. This era is known as Paul Ehrlich era. It is from 1830 to 1935. Paul Ehrlich also gave the term chemotherapeutic index. So what is chemotherapeutic index? It is ratio of the maximal dose which can be tolerated by host to the minimum dose which kill or inhibit the growth of parasite. The next phase is the modern era of chemotherapy, which was started when Domark introduced sulfonamide in the year of 1935, and the last golden era of antibiotic was started when Alexander Fleming introduced or isolate penicillin from Penicillium notatum. So what is chemotherapy? We already discussed the term chemotherapy was coined by Ehrlich at beginning of 20th century to describe use of synthetic drug or chemical to destroy infective agents. But then after, antibiotic which is produced by microorganism which also destroy the infective agents. That's why the recent year the term broadened to include antibiotic substance which is produced by microorganism. Next, further it also broadened with including the anti-cancer drug. We broaden it still further to include agent that kill or inhibit growth of cancer cell. So the current definition of chemotherapy is use of chemical to kill or inhibit growth of pathogenic organism or cancerous cell without affecting host tissue. Okay, let's understand this definition or the different terms which are used in definition broadly. So again, the definition is the use of chemical to kill or inhibit growth of pathogenic organism or cancerous cell without affecting host tissue. There are several terms which is very important here. The first one is the chemical. Chemical it may be synthetic origin or it may be derived from the microorganism, or we can say the natural origin. So, if the substance or chemical derived from the microorganism and used to kill or inhibit growth of pathogenic organism, then these substances are known as antibiotic. Where in case of the synthetic or the substance which may or may not derive from the microorganism, means it include both synthetic as well as the substance which are derived from the microorganism. Again repeating, the substance which may or may not derive from the microorganism and used to kill or inhibit growth of pathogenic organism without affecting host tissue are known as chemotherapeutic agent. Next important term is kill. Kill, for kill, the word is the seidel, or the substance which kill the bacteria are known as bactericidal. Similarly, inhibit the growth. The substance which inhibit growth of bacteria are known as bacteriostatics. Next important term is the pathogenic organism. Here in this definition, the pathogenic organism mainly cover the two, microbes or parasites. The example of microbes are bacteria, fungi and virus, or the agent which destroy the bacteria or inhibit the growth of bacteria are known as antibacterial agent. Where in case of fungi, the agent which kill or inhibit growth of fungi are known as antifungal agent, or in case of the virus, similarly the agent which kill or inhibit growth of virus are known as antiviral agent. The second term is the parasite. So, the example of parasite are protozoa and helminth. So, the example of protozoa are malarial parasite and amoeba. So, the agent who inhibit growth or kill malarial parasite or amoeba are known as anti-malarial or anti-amoebic respectively. Where in case of the agent who kill or inhibit growth or expel the helminth from the body are known as anthelmintic agents. And the next, cancer cell. So, the agent which inhibit growth or kill the cancerous cell are known as anti-cancer agent. The next important term of this definition is without affecting host tissue. It's a very important term. So, what this term indicate or why this term is in this definition? Virtually all creature, host and parasite are similar, have the same basic blueprint DNA. So, some basic biochemical processes are common to most but not all organisms. So, it is important finding the agent that affect pathogen or cancerous cell but not other human cell make necessary. This is possible by finding either qualitative or quantitative difference between the pathogen and human cell. So, the best chemotherapeutic agent are the agent which destroy the cancerous cell or pathogenic organism but not affect the host cell, and this can be find out by understanding the difference between bacteria and human cell. For understanding here, first we focus onto the bacteria and human cell. So, what are the difference between the bacteria and human cell? So, the first one is the cell wall. In bacteria, the cell surrounded by cell wall which is made up of peptidoglycan. The thickness of cell wall depend on whether gram positive or gram negative, where in case of the human cell wall is absent. So, this is the first difference and we can target the cell wall. The second one is the membrane bound nucleus. So, in case of the bacteria, no membrane bound nucleus. Genetic material is in the form of single chromosome which lie in the cytoplasm with no surrounded nuclear membrane, where in case of the eukaryotics or human cell, the membrane bound nucleus is present. The third one is the ribosome. Protein synthesis occur on the macromolecule machine called the ribosome. So in bacteria, the 70S ribosome, which is comprised of 30S and 50S subunit, where in case of the human cell, the ribosome is 80S subunit. Sorry, this is not 780, this is 80S. And the fourth difference is the metabolic pathway. So the synthesis of folate, purine and pyrimidine is differently in bacteria as compared to the human cell. So on the basis of this difference, we can target the bacterial cell without affecting host tissue. Next, what are the targets of antimicrobial agent? So the bacterial cell surrounded by cell wall, which contain peptidoglycan in all form of bacteria. Peptidoglycan is unique to prokaryotic cell and has no counterpart in eukaryotes. So the cell wall is the good target of antimicrobial agent. Within the cell wall is the plasma membrane, which similar to that of eukaryotic cell, consists of phospholipid bilayer and protein. It functions as a selective permeable membrane with specific transport mechanism for various nutrients. However, in bacteria, the plasma membrane does not contain any sterol, and this may alter the penetration of some chemical. So it is also good target of antimicrobial agent. Next is the metabolic pathway. Normally, para-aminobenzoic acid in the presence of enzyme convert into the folates, and that folates is essential for synthesis of purine and pyrimidine, which is the important substrate for the DNA and RNA synthesis. So biosynthesis of folate is an example of metabolic pathway which found in bacteria but not in human. Folate is required for DNA synthesis in both bacteria and in human. Human cannot synthesize folate and must obtain it from the diet, and specific uptake mechanism have evolved to transport it into cells, where in case of the bacteria, this transport mechanism is absent. So the folate synthesis is also good target for antimicrobial agent. The next is the DNA or nucleic acid. So the nucleic acid of cell are DNA and RNA. DNA is the template for synthesis of both DNA and RNA. The synthesis of DNA from its parent's DNA is known as replication. Initiation of DNA synthesis require first the activity of protein that cause separation of strand. The replication process insert a positive supercoil which is relaxed by DNA gyrase, or also called the topoisomerase 2. So this DNA gyrase, which is present in bacteria and also in human but have different sensitivity. So this DNA gyrase is also good target of antimicrobial agent. Next, this DNA synthesizes the mRNA. This process is known as the transcription. So in this process, the enzyme required is known as RNA polymerase. So the RNA polymerase is also good target for the antimicrobial agent. Then this mRNA with the help of 30S and 50S ribosome synthesize the protein. This process is known as translation or gene expression process. This protein synthesis is take place on 30S and 50S ribosome. Eukaryotic and prokaryotic ribosome are different, and this provide the basis for selective antimicrobial action of some antibiotics. The bacterial ribosome consists of 50S subunit and 30S subunit, where the mammalian ribosome consists of subunit of 60S and 40S. So this protein synthesis is so good target of antimicrobial agent. So here these are the different targets of antimicrobial agents. First one is the cell wall synthesis, second one is the plasma membrane, third one is the metabolic pathway, fourth one is the nucleic acid synthesis, or we can say the DNA synthesis and RNA synthesis, and the last one is the protein synthesis. Okay. Next, what are the drug which act on this target? The first one is the drug which inhibit the cell wall synthesis, and the examples are beta-lactams, penicillin and cephalosporin, cyclosporin, bacitracin and glycopeptides. Here the mistake is there, glycopeptides. Next, the drug which target the metabolic pathway, specifically folate antagonists. Examples are sulfonamides and trimethoprim. Next, the drug which target the DNA synthesis or nucleic acid synthesis, and particularly specifically DNA gyrase inhibitor. The examples are quinolones and fluoroquinolones. Ciprofloxacin, gatifloxacin, all are example of fluoroquinolones. Next, RNA polymerase inhibitor. The example are rifamycin and rifampicin. Next, protein synthesis inhibitor. In this, the drug which specifically target 30S ribosome are aminoglycoside and tetracyclines, and which target the 50S ribosome are chloramphenicol, macrolide and lincosamide. The last target is the plasma membrane, drug which modify the membrane integrity. The example are polymyxin B and daptomycin. So this is the classification of antimicrobial agent on the basis of mechanism of action. Next, classification of antimicrobial agent on the basis of chemical structure. So it divide into the two part. First one is the antibiotic and the second one is the synthetic antimicrobial agents. So let's first focus on to the antibiotics. Antibiotics means the substance or the agent which derive from the microorganism and used to kill or inhibit growth of pathogenic organism without affecting host tissue. So the example of antibiotics, first one is a beta-lactam antibiotic, and the example of beta-lactam antibiotic are penicillin, cephalosporin, monobactam and carbapenem. The second antibiotic class is the tetracyclines, and the examples are oxytetracycline and doxycycline. Third is the nitrobenzene derivative, and the example is chloramphenicol. Fourth one is the aminoglycoside, which includes the streptomycin, gentamicin, amikacin, neomycin and so many other. Fifth one is the macrolide antibiotic, as it contains the macrolide ring in that structure. That's why it is known as a macrolide antibiotic. And the examples are erythromycin, clarithromycin, azithromycin and so many other. Next is the lincosamide antibiotic. The example are lincomycin and clindamycin. Seventh is the glycopeptide antibiotic, and the example are vancomycin and other. Eighth one is the oxazolidinone. The example is linezolid. Ninth is the polypeptide antibiotic. It contains so many amino acids in the structure. That's why it's called the polypeptide antibiotic. And the examples are polymyxin B, colistin, bacitracin and tyrothricin. 10th one is the choline antibiotic, which contain the choline in their structure. The example are nystatin, amphotericin B and hemicin. And the last some other different chemical group are included in this: rifampicin, spectinomycin, cycloserine, viomycin, griseofulvin. These all are the example of different antibiotic. The second one is a synthetic chemotherapeutic agent, means who are synthetic origin. So the first and most important is the sulfonamide and related drug, which include the sulfadiazine and so many other sulfonamides, dapsone, para-amino salicylic acid. The next is the diaminopyrimidine derivative. The examples are trimethoprime and pyrimethamine, which is used in malaria. Next, quinolone or fluoroquinolones. The examples are nalidixic acid, norfloxacin, ciprofloxacin, gatifloxacin and so many other. Fourth is the nitrofuran derivative. The example are nitrofurantoin and furazolidone. The next are the nitroimidazole derivative. The example are metronidazole and tinidazole. Sixth, nicotinic acid derivative. The example are isoniazid, pyrazinamide, ethionamide. These are the anti-tuberculosis drug. Next, seventh is the azole derivative. The example are meconazole, clotrimazole, ketoconazole, fluconazole and so many other. These are the drugs which inhibit the growth of fungi. So these are the antifungal agent, and some other ethambutol, thiacetazone, clofazimine and so many other chemotherapeutic, synthetic chemotherapeutic agent. So this is the classification of antimicrobial agent on the basis of chemical structure. In the next class, we will discuss about different targets of chemotherapeutic agent one by one in detail. Thank you. If you have any question, you can find me at patelchirag17787@gmail.com.